Hello and welcome to Tech360, a brand new technology show on NDTV. My name is Aayush Ailawadi and I'm going to be taking you on a crazy roller coaster ride around the world of technology. I'm super excited about this, but something seems wrong. There's so much happening and I want to take you to ground zero, the heart of all the action. Maybe take the show on the road, and for that we can't be in a studio setup. I got to come to you and fix this. Let me take you there. This feels more like it. We're in the middle of Tech-tember, and what better place to be than Cupertino, because the Apple event is happening here. So we're going to bring you the latest and greatest from the world of tech. Then we'll take you on a little bit of a world tour, tell you what's happening over here, how the world, how India sees what's happening here at Apple HQ. And then we'll be coming to Mumbai with a very special auto segment. Stay tuned to Tech360. I'm here at Apple Park and I have the iPhone 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max. Outside the Steve Jobs Theatre, the keynote has just ended, and you're seeing it first in my hand in this blue and this cosmic orange. Of course, you get this in both devices. This is the Pro, so it's 6.3 inches. This is 6.9 inches. It's massive, but it's still very pocketable and handleable. They come with an A19 Pro chip on the inside, better thermal management, and of course, all that computability just like a MacBook Pro, but in the palm of your hands. Is it a big upgrade from last year? That's the real question, and for that, I have an answer. It is, because of all the things that Apple's doing on the inside of this device. It looks great, but then of course, you have a ceramic shield too on the outside, so it's going to be a lot more durable, a lot more scratch resistant, and it's going to be ready, the camera, for filmmakers. There is 3 48 megapixel cameras over here doing all the magic. Now you also have center stage on the selfie camera. So if I'm taking this right here, I can go wide and I can go horizontal and vertical using AI. That is a very casual, efficient flex of artificial intelligence. You don't have to put it up on posters and billboards. The phone does the talking. The iPhone camera was fantastic. It's gotten even better on the 17 Pro Max and the 17 Pro. There's one more feature which we've seen in Android devices for the last 4 years, but when Apple does it, they do it differently. You just swipe up on the camera, and right here, this is the new dual capture mode on the iPhone 17. I think this is really cool on the 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max. I could be vlogging and doing this at the same time and telling you what's happening. Right now, I'm outside the Steve Jobs Theatre for the Apple event. Now, you get this at 1,35,000 rupees. What did you make of the Pro lineup this year? This is your first look of the iPhone 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max. The rumor mills were rife with a slim device, and this is as slim as it gets at 5.6 mm. This is the slimmest iPhone ever. But if you thought this would be underpowered, then you'd be wrong, because they've actually given this an A19 Pro chipset on the inside that makes it way more power efficient. In fact, the most power efficient iPhone yet. More than that, there is of course a 48 megapixel fusion camera, which might be a little bit of a bummer for camera enthusiasts, but you're not in this for the camera. Though that 48 megapixel camera can do a lot of things, not like the Pro models. That said, it's a thermal management system that works. It is incredibly slim to hold, very pocketable, probably a secondary device to be honest for me, because I'll always want a Pro device and a foldable. This might be a device for a lot of people who don't want something bulky in their pockets. It comes with all-day battery life and it's eSIM-only. If that's something you're worrying about, well, this is eSIM-only. That also means it gives them more space on the inside to work with the architecture. But if you ask me, it comes in 4 colors. It starts at 1,20,000 rupees in India. The camera has a bunch of features, some of them that we've seen in the iPhone 17 as well and the iPhone 17 Pro lineup. It's interesting, I'm here with the new iPhone 17 and this booth over here in the hands-on area is not getting as much attention as the Air and the Pro. The Pro always gets all the eyeballs, but this time there's other things as well, like the AirPods, which have finally been refreshed with a bunch of health features, and then the Apple Watch. But right now, let's focus on the iPhone 17. Now, what's special about this? Of course, it comes with everything at the base level that you need. You have a 48 megapixel fusion camera, a telephoto, and you have all the software features. If you want to use the new dual capture mode, it has dual capture. If you want to go into 2x, you can go to 2x, but it stops over there because this is an iPhone 17. It comes with an A19 chipset. But then what's that standout feature on the iPhone 17? There's actually a huge upgrade that people aren't talking about, which is that it finally comes with a Pro Motion display. What does that mean? It's iPhone 17 with 120 Hz of a refresh rate, can go down all the way adaptive till 1 Hz. This is a Pro upgrade on the iPhone 17. Same, but different is what I would say about the AirPods Pro 3. They look similar to last year, but honestly, performance-wise, much better. The bass is thumping, and most importantly, better battery life. Nearly 8 hours with ANC. The ANC is 2 to 3 times better. I can't really compare them to Sony XM5s or stuff like that because we'll need to get them in the studio, but they're very good. They are definitely a big improvement from last time when you switched between transparency and ANC. More importantly, I think the fact that this was a hearing aid all along and now comes with heart rate sensors in your AirPods. I don't know what this means for the Apple Watch and other bands, but this is the future, the AirPods Pro 3. I want to test these extensively in Mumbai traffic to see what it's all about. This is the new Apple Watch Ultra 3. Of course, it comes with better battery life, more durable, and most importantly, now there's hypertension alert. So if you've got blood pressure, this can be a nifty feature. There's also a bunch of other features. Very interesting. This is the upgrade that I was waiting for. Maybe you don't need another fitness band. All I will be using is the new Ultra 3. And if you think we're done at Apple Park, think again, because this is the most blockbuster announcement of the year and we're analyzing it critically, dispassionately here on Tech360. Now, you've seen the hands-on, the launch and the build-up and a bit of the analysis that we've been putting across the NDTV network. But what if I told you I actually caught up with someone at Apple who understands iPhone really well, what their plan is for the iPhone, what the product is going to be like in the coming years, more importantly, what it means for India. Here's a glimpse of that conversation. Now, you've seen a bunch of coverage here from Cupertino, Apple Park, Steve Jobs Theatre right behind me, but it's the iPhone that's always the MVP that steals the show. And someone who understands iPhone, in fact, no one understands iPhone better than someone saying right beside me, Kaiann, Drance, what a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Kaiann, this has been fascinating because we've been talking about the iPhone Air coming up.
Yes.
And then finally, we have this super slim device. It's really stolen the show. Was that something you were working on for a very long time? I'm guessing that got all of your attention.
Well, we work hard on a lot of our models for a while, and iPhone Air, of course, is very exciting. It's the newest member of the family, and we have this Pro performance inside this unbelievably thin and light design, yet it's more durable than any previous phone. And it's just one of those things you got to pick up to believe it.
You know, the Air got so much of the attention, and of course, it's the Pro devices. But as a tech geek, I must tell you, it was the iPhone 17 that sealed the show for me. Getting Pro Motion finally,
yes,
and a bunch of those AI features. You know, when we talk about AI, it's not always in your face. The way you did it with Center Stage and some of the cool things that you guys are doing. I think the iPhone 17 is really the sweet spot when you want to get all those features at an affordable price, especially in India.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, with the Center Stage front camera, it's across the entire lineup. And like you said, Pro Motion is now for the first time.
Finally.
And we have the display is a little bit bigger on the iPhone 17 to 6.3, and it's brighter. It gets a brighter display, and it gets the Ceramic Shield 2 with the anti-reflective coating and the 3x scratch resistance. So you get that consistency across the lineup, and you've got a latest generation chip. You've got great battery life. You've got, you know, rear camera updates and double the starting storage capacity.
iPhones being made in India, that's done really well for Apple and for India. How do you view that in terms of some of the devices coming out of India as a big hub around the world?
Well, we're really excited for that. As you know, we're committed to local India manufacturing, and we've already got some great teams out there. And so I expect to see more great things out of India.
As one of my last questions to you, I do want to understand, I know it's a difficult one because it's your baby, the iPhone, but what's that one feature for you which was the absolute GOAT, the absolute standout today, which is something that, I mean, there was a bunch of them for me, but which one was it for you?
Well, you know, I think the Center Stage front camera is quite magical. You basically have the ability to hold your iPhone in a simple, natural portrait orientation, and you get up to 4 different compositions with a wider field of view. More people joining the frame, it can just automatically expand. And with so many people taking selfies on iPhone, we think this will really make a difference for them every day.
Absolutely, and the good thing being that it's across the lineup. It's not just with the Pro devices, you have it with the 17 and the Air as well.
That's right. It's in 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, iPhone Air. They all have the center stage front camera.
And it's not something that users could get as an update on older devices. This is very specific to the A19.
It's for specific technology in the front camera sensor. It's a square sensor supporting up to 18 megapixels photo output, and we needed that technology to enable this capability.
Another big standout feature, Kaiann, was that the fact that the Air finally comes, and it comes with a Pro chip. Was that a conscious decision? To actually come in with an A19 Pro chip on that? Is it all about power efficiency?
It is. Power efficiency is a huge part. As you heard us talk about, we have the most Apple chips in that. We have the N1, the C1X, and A19 Pro is even more power efficient. And it was critical to enabling the thin and light iPhone Air because we still wanted to have great battery life.
And when are we going to see you next in the Apple store in Mumbai or Delhi, or now the other 2 that have opened up in India as well?
Well, hopefully soon. I hear it's amazing. So I look forward to visiting soon myself and saying hello.
What did you make of our first half of the show here from Apple Park? But there's so much more in the second half of the show. I can't promise teleportation, but something like that. You have to stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side. Yet another Tesla here in California, but that's a very common sight over here, right outside Apple Park. But when I was in, and while I'm saying this, a couple of others have passed already, but it's going to soon be a common sight in India. The question is Elon Musk a little too late, given the electric revolution has already begun in India? Or is there a market for everyone? Just to test that claim and to see whether the Tesla Model Y can be put through its paces, I took it out in Mumbai before I got on this world tour for you to put together the first episode of Tech 360. But I wanted to give you a dispassionate, impartial tech geek's perspective on the Tesla Model Y on Indian roads. Have a look. The Tesla Model Y. This isn't a controlled environment. We don't have a set route. We're out in the open, giving you a real-world analysis. What does it drive like? Does it make sense? Is it a true bang for your buck? And all the cool tech features which you've never seen before. Let's get in for a drive and I'll show you more. A Tesla isn't a Tesla without a supercharger. I'm at around 50% in terms of charging, so that's half the range on this Tesla Model Y. This is one of the 4 superchargers, so you could get it up to like 80% in under 15 minutes. Lift it up right here, and you see the small little button over here. I press it, and it's that seamless. No app, no thinking about a million things. Just place it right here, and just like that, in a matter of a few seconds, it's turned green. That means it's charging. In the seconds that I came here, it's already gone up by 2%. It's giving you the session energy, price, session costs. This is the CCS2 chargers. So it's not just these Tesla superchargers, which are great. It's a seamless experience when you're charging. But tomorrow, if you were to go to an other manufacturer's charger, which can give you fast charging, this car is capable of that. No adapter needed. It's literally the same port. But of course, the experience at these superchargers, 1 over here, 3 more across the city of Mumbai, 4 in New Delhi, and that's how the supercharger network will spread. In a matter of minutes, the car is charged to over 90%. I put my next destination 30 to 40 kilometers away, and it's already telling me that we'll be down to 85% if I drive the way I've been driving. Well, the weather gods might not be on our side for this shoot, but we will fight, need thy sway, continue driving with technology on our side, and that's what makes me confident, reassuring. With this EV, we've got nearly 88% charge left. The car is blunted. The suspension is taking all our potholes and bumps pretty well for an EV. And because it's an EV, that electric powertrain in this Tesla Model Y rear wheel drive, and if I press the accelerator now, instant torque. If you're talking about cameras, there is plenty of cameras, nearly half a dozen of them. I think 7 on the outside, 1 here, which also will really work with ADAS. This current car, of course, comes with ADAS level 2, which is an advanced form of ADAS, but that's what's allowed right now in India especially. Now, how does FSD or any level of ADAS work in the Tesla? It's because of the camera system. And it's running on a very advanced camera system. You see right over here, crystal clear, incredibly vivid with the picture. You could turn the car around and just look at how seamlessly even this graphic moves. If you want to actually use the camera when you're not in the car, then the Tesla activates Sentry mode. Basically, all these cameras with the USB attached in the glove box right now are always recording in Sentry mode anything and everything around your car. So if someone's been mischievous, maybe scratched your car or come too close, or something's happened in your absence, the cameras are always recording. I think that's a really cool feature. Of course, we know about dash cams and we know about, well, security cameras, but these cameras doubling up in Sentry mode is something super cool. There's light sync, which would ensure that all the ambient lighting in the car, like this, and you see how everything syncs up with the music being played.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. Can you please walk away from my car with your hands up? Walk away from the Tesla Model Y with your hands up.
That is the megaphone feature. Yet another one of those Easter egg surprises from Elon Musk. You can do a bunch of things, play music, and let everyone else around you get entertained with that boombox feature. You can also do a light show. Basically, it sounds like gimmicks to a lot of people, but there is a very staunch, loyal Tesla community that loves using these features. Now, I could have given you my last link or the verdict from the megaphone, but just to tell you about the Model Y and spending a day with this beast on this road trip, honestly, the question was always about whether these cars will be all right for Indian roads. But now we've seen a plethora of EVs. Not much has changed for the Tesla Model Y. That said, this has been quite an interesting drive here in Mumbai. Okay, could the suspension have been better? Maybe it could have been tweaked for our roads, but no one can plan for Mumbai's roads. It is a bit on the firmer side, just like a German car. Could it have been a little softer? Maybe, like some of the other EVs we're seeing. That is something that could be worked on. But in terms of technology, there is no comparison to what this car can do, what this car does in terms of having some fun. Everyone else is just a scraggy pretender in that queue trying to be the Tesla Model Y or Model 3 or any of these Teslas. But the question about whether the Tesla Model Y is just hype and whether it's a true bang for your buck. To answer the former, this car is definitely not just hype. There's so much to it in terms of technology, in terms of the space on the inside, in terms of how much attention it grabs here on Indian roads. And I'm guessing it'll be the same with all its other models coming in, the Model 3 and then eventually the Cybertruck as well. But there are a bunch of factors when you consider whether it's a bang for your buck, because this car costs somewhere between 60 to 70 lakhs depending on which variant you take. Yes, some great range, nearly 500 kilometers on a single charge. The superchargers are a game changer. But now when you're spending that kind of money, it's up against, well, the electrics from Volvo, a Mercedes EQA perhaps, which is much tinier, and a BMW iX1 long wheelbase. Now, those are very nifty packages because they've been around for a while now and we've tested them extensively. But this is bigger, it is cooler, and the tech is far superior to anything else we've seen on Indian roads. It's now time for my favorite segment on the show, because what we want to do with this particular segment is get you the Tech360 community involved across multimedia. We're going to come to you for these questions. And the first one comes from Simran.
Are all the foldables same, or should buyers look at them differently?
Not at all, Simran. Foldables come in different flavors, shapes and sizes. Book-style models are designed for productivity and multitasking. Flip phones focus on portability and style, and a bunch of other features. Build quality has improved a lot over the years, particularly with sturdier and more flexible hinges. Though inner displays are still fragile, I personally have had issues with flagship foldables as well. The crease hasn't all but disappeared, but some brands disguise it better than the others. Prices remain largely premium, though a few mid-range options are trickling in. Software is a key differentiator. Samsung still leads with the most refined multitasking, while rivals are steadily improving. Now, when we talk about foldables, I personally have used a Pixel 9 Pro Fold for an entire year. I'm planning to switch over to a Samsung Fold 7 because honestly, in terms of 7 years of improvements, software and hardware, Samsung has really hit the target spot on this time with its foldable. It's a lot more pocketable, the crease is a lot less visible, and the battery is as good as a bar phone. At least that's what they claim. But stay tuned to Tech360. We'll do a full foldables comparison for you guys. It'll be across our multimedia here on the show and of course on our social media as well. Okay, we have time for one more question on Tech360.
How does a new AI in Google 10 Pixel series compare to Samsung flagship?
Vansh, that's an interesting question because this is, by the way, the new Pixel lineup. This is the Pixel 10 Pro XL, the ultimate flagship taking on what will be the 17 Pro Max by iPhone. But it's not a clear-cut advantage for Pixel. This has stock Android. This is what most of us Android fans have been dreaming about when it comes to software. And it does a great job at that, but it's an expensive phone. In fact, some Samsung Galaxy flagships have launched Google's AI tools before the Pixel line itself. Now look, these phones are expensive, and for many buyers, AI is still not the decisive factor or the biggest reason to pick one phone over another. That said, there are a bunch of stock AI features or flagship AI features which only come with this device. Also bundling. They have Gemini Advanced features. You get 1 year off that Gemini Pro subscription, which means you can use all those AI features on this device. Although Samsung integrates that Gemini Live feature all across its lineup. But in the age of AI, privacy and security are two big questions. And with on-device AI processing, on this device, Gemini Nano and Tensor G5, the chip that Google's using, makes it more reliable than cloud-based AI services. AI text and video generation are natively baked into these devices. Pixels are known as some of the best cameras on the planet. And with Camera Coach, this new feature, they're taking the experience further. It looks through what the camera is seeing, analyzes it, and visually guides you to take a much better picture if you need the guidance. With Pixel devices, like I said, you get 1 year of Gemini's Pro subscription, enough to get you a taste of what Gemini might really be able to give you and get you hooked. Gemini Pro codes better, reasons better, holds longer context, and using gems, people can get a taste of agents custom built for processes. So a lot of AI on this device and a lot of AI on Tech360. We always want to keep the Tech360 community engaged and of course, listen in to what all your queries are. This is only the start of our tech adventure. I hope you've enjoyed this little roller coaster around the world that we've taken you on. My name is Aayush Ailawadi. This is going to be your new destination for all things tech, the latest and greatest. I'll see you next time. Until next week, adios.